Welcome to the Navigating My Crazy podcast. I'm Shayla. Navigating My Crazy is a weekly podcast created for moms trying to balance life, family, purpose, and wanting to improve their mental wellness. Our goal is to inspire conversations necessary to end the stigma associated with mental health and the unrealistic societal expectations related to being a mom. But most importantly, to create a community so that no mom ever feels alone as we all navigate this crazy thing called life together. Let's start this show. All right, everyone. So on this week's episode of the Navigating My Crazy podcast, we will be chatting with Dr. Angela Nichols-Young. She is the CEO of Inspire, LLC, where she provides training, education, and she inspires others like myself to find their purpose. She is also the co-founder of Louisiana Delta Empowerment Group, which serves the Delta region of the Arklamis. Dr. Angela is also the proud owner of Healthy Minds, a counseling agency which provides counseling, parenting skills, job readiness, and job development to children and adults in Region 8 in our state of Louisiana. Dr. Angela attended Jackson State University, where she received her doctoral degree in higher education. And then she received her Master's of Education in Guidance and Community Counseling at the University of Louisiana at Monroe. She has a wide range of professional experiences that includes being a school teacher, a school guidance counselor, a teacher evaluator for the state of Louisiana, also a project director, and a charter school consultant. She is now inspiring and does a wonderful job of being a speaker and a coach. And her primary mission is to empower individuals and organizations to gain the skills that they need to grow and accomplish its mission. And that's actually how I met Dr. Angela. She was one of the people that inspired me to just step out into my purpose and really embrace what I wanted to do as far as starting the podcast and helping other moms. She is also a member of multiple professional and social groups. And she's a member of the Minority Business Coalition, where she serves as vice president, also a member of Zeta Phi Beta sorority and Young Entrepreneurs. She's also a mother. Your daughter's name?
Jadria.
Jadria. I didn't want to butcher the name.
No.
All right. And so we are so excited to have Dr. Angela on with us. She has a wealth of knowledge and experience, including being a mother, that she's going to provide for us today. So thanks, Dr. Angela, for joining us.
Thank you, Shayla, for having me. And congrats. I am super, super proud of you. I mean, when I saw the post and I saw the lunch, I was like, yes. I was doing my yes dance.
Yes. So everyone, I actually realized that I met you a long time ago in church, but I met her as a person. She hosted a conference for women called A Woman's Worth here in our city. I was just so inspired by her energy and just her willingness to help other people and share information. It just really inspired me to walk into my purpose and really reach out to other mothers that were going through the things that I have and just really announce the fact that, okay, I am doing this, because I was doing it, but not many of my family nor my friends actually knew that I was a life coach or that I even had, clients that I was mentoring. So just starting the podcast, using my voice to help the long range of people that I couldn't actually meet in person. This is all you. So just thank you for that.
Wow. You've given me too much credit. I promise you. It is you. It is your purpose. What I did is just pushed you.
Yes, you did.
You had already done the work. It was so simple and it was easy for you because you had already created the foundation and was already doing the work. Mm-hmm. That's it. So congrats. Once again.
So the reason why I brought Dr. Angela on is because we were talking about how mothers, when they need help, to reach out for help, or when they need care, or when they are feeling alone, or when they have all of these signs and symptoms. And we always say get help, but the steps that follow are not given. And so that's really the conversation that we're going to have today, understanding the signs and symptoms. And then when you understand that you need help, what are the steps to get that?
Yes. So Shayla, I just wanted to start off by having this conversation is that to be aware that nothing is wrong to ask for help. Because I think it's such a negative stigma that's been placed on receiving help, receiving services, receiving treatment. If your body or your mind or your brain is not functioning at its best, sometimes things happen. And so I think we've been in a society where saying, raising my hand, say, hey, I need help, that it's been a stigma placed on that. So I want to go out and say that nothing is wrong with saying, I need help, or recognizing something is not right. I need some help, because that's the start. Recognizing that you need help and not being embarrassed, because it's nothing is embarrassing about getting help. If your car breaks down, what do? You go get help. If you cut yourself on your arm and it's too deep, what do? You go to the hospital, you go get help. So for so many years in this society, we have placed a stigma on, if my brain is not functioning at its best, I should hide this. If I'm not feeling my best, I'm not having a great day, I'm not having a great week, I need to hide that. No, if you're not feeling well, you need to get help, and nothing is wrong. We fix everything else. We fix and repair everything else. But sometimes we overlook, or it is shunned upon when we try to repair ourselves. And so help in seeking services, it can be done in a number of ways. So many times, grandmother, you hear your aunt, it's like, pray about it. I am a Christian. I love God. But prayer is the wisdom that you need to exercise in praying, is that I need to seek someone who is trained, who can help me and assist me. If I get in a car accident and I'm bleeding, no one is just going to be, they could be praying for me, but they are also going to take me to the hospital, to get that patched up, healed, or whatever it may be, and get stitches. So not saying that prayer does not work. I am an advocate for prayer, but I'm also an advocate for seeking a professional, seeking someone who can help me. And so if you're not having a great week, that is a sign, recognizing the signs that something is not right. If you're always anxious about something, saying, okay, something is not right. Recognizing that sign and saying, I am not at my best. I am not functioning at my best. And we all should know what our best feels like, because we've had great days. We've had amazing days. So if you're not, you're not going to always be on cloud 10, that's fine. But you should not have bad days or having bad experiences all the time. That is a red flag. So something is wrong. We all have our normal everyday challenges. But when it gets to the point where you cannot function at a healthy level, it's time to seek out some professional help. Some of that help can come from in several sectors, whether you're going to seek a psychiatrist, somebody who does private practice, or you're going to a counseling agency where you can get someone to come into your space, your community, your home to receive services. Also, it could be just going to your physician. A lot of times a medical doctor can prescribe different medicine and can do some counseling in regards to treating whatever the symptom may be. Now, some people don't believe in medication. I do believe in medication. We take medication for a lot of things, but I'm not just a pill popper. But if you need that pill, then it's okay to say, hey, take this prescription until you get to a place where you no longer need it. You don't become an addict, don't become addicted to it, but get to a place where you no longer need it. And so that becomes a place where you make a decision where I just need to see my primary care doctor, my physician, say, hey, I'm just not feeling well, and they can prescribe something. They have a level where they can prescribe a certain level of drugs. But then if you need to go to a psychiatrist who can do a little bit more in depth, you may need to just talk about it, do some research. I tell everybody there is an antidote to everything that you do. Everything you're experiencing, that is an antidote. Something happened. What caused this? It just didn't happen. And I heard your podcast and you talked about, some of your anxiety came from growing up in a chaotic home. I I suffered from the same thing, and I had to remember what happened, what made me become so anxious. My lovely husband pointed that out to me. You're just so anxious sometimes. And I know that he didn't, I realized that several years ago. And I was like, okay, so what made me so anxious? But I have a mom who was very, very stern. Very, very stern growing up. It was 10 of us in the household. She couldn't afford to play with kids. She's like, I'm not playing with you. You do what I say. And so I became very anxious to make sure I was doing everything right. I wanted to make sure I was doing my homework. I wanted to make sure I was getting good grades. I was making sure I cleaned up. I was making sure I was off the phone at 7 o'clock. It became just aware of, I was always anxious to making sure I was doing something right. It became a part of who I was. It's just being anxious and just always trying to do things in a perfect form, in a perfect manner, because I didn't like to be scolded or fussed at, because that's just not my personality. And so I didn't like that. And I was like, well, I'm going to do everything right to prevent any of this. My mom come in the house, I'm going to have all my stuff together. I see what happens with y'all when y'all don't get it together. And so that became a part of who I was, until I decided to seek out some counseling. A lot of the counseling came when I decided to remarry, and I had to go through marriage counseling. That was one of the issues that my husband shared. Like, she's always anxious. She always think people had to do everything right. And it was unfair to him because I was projecting some of those things onto him. And so just recognizing something, and I explained to him this because I knew, I was aware. And like I said, years before I actually remarried, that I knew my behavior. I knew some of the traits that I exhibit because of my childhood. I think my mom is had a great loving family, but because of the stressors of life, and she was doing the best. My parents were doing the best they can do at that time. Knowledge is powerful. And just having that knowledge sometimes changes the situations on how we parent, our parent style. Now, my parent style is very, very different from my mom because of the knowledge and education that I received.
Just to go back on one of the things that you said, remembering what I went through, I did go to my primary care physician and he prescribed me pills. That was it. And so it was like, well, you're depressed, take these pills, but it was no follow-up. He didn't say, well, you should probably seek out counseling. So it was to the point where I thought the pills would cure it. So once I was still taking the pills and I still would feel the sadness, and I was thinking, well, something's wrong with me because even these pills aren't working. And that made my depression worse because it was like, okay, I'm taking these pills and I'm still feeling that way. Not understanding dosage, not understanding like the therapy portion of it. And this was in my early 20s. Not really understanding that it had to kind of, like you were saying, understanding the why behind it. And then in addition to the medications, can you talk a little more on that? So if you go to your doctor and you're getting what the doctor gave you and it's not working, where should you go?
Yes, definitely. Because what he should have done or she should have done, after you went back and said, hey, pills are not working, they should have referred you. They failed in that area. But just like everything else, you have to, hey, what is my alternative? Give me options. What are my choices here? You have to continue to have that conversation. Do not give up. Something is not working and they are responsible, or you feel like they have and they do have some type of responsibility, and say, this is not working. We have to find another option. We have to find another solution. And I'm going to share this story because sometimes you just have to press in regards to treatment and to services. My sister, and she don't mind me sharing this, had open heart surgery a couple of years ago. During the whole time, she was sick and we knew something was wrong. She would say, I just don't feel good. She would not get up. Her hair was falling out. She had stopped eating. She was going to the doctor every day. We would call 911 and they was like, oh, we can't find anything. We cannot find anything. It was like weeks and weeks had passed and she was constantly going to the doctor, going to the emergency room, and they kept saying they could not find it. And something clicked inside of me one Sunday when my mom called. LaDonya is sick. We have to do something. And something clicked inside of me. You're going to find something today. And so I went over to the hospital. I said, you're not going to release her. It is evident that something is wrong. You need to find out what is going on. You need to give us some other option. And so I had to press that. I had to push that issue. And they finally decided, well, let's do some blood work, run some more tests. But, give me some options. Do everything you need to do in order to make me feel better because you have that responsibility. And so they finally did that. And it was like the next day, the doctor came in, it's like, we have to operate. Your valve is corroded. And if you would have stayed another day, you would have died. we did not know, because somebody you have to press, just like your primary care physician. He may have been limited, but sometimes it's about how much you care about yourself and saying that I am not feeling well. I am not doing good. This is not helping me. I need some other alternatives. What are my options? I need you to give me some options. I am seeking guidance from you. If you cannot help me, refer me out, because what should have happened is that they have connections. It's like something called continual coordination of care. If it's out of their scope of services, they can refer you to somebody else. So it was out of his or she's scope of services, and what they should have did is coordinate the care of you as a patient with a psychiatrist or with a counseling agency and referred you out. So they failed, they dropped the ball, but push it. Do not give up. Like, I am not feeling well. Something is going on here. This medicine is not working. I need to get better. So I encourage every listener to push the issue until you feel better.
Right. I received that. And one of the things that I know that I didn't do was the follow-up myself. It was more of me thinking, well, he gave me these pills, this should work. And then me internalizing the fact that it didn't work. It's just understanding even what depression was and realizing later I actually had a mental illness, because sometimes you can fix the symptoms, but when you understand that you actually have a mental illness, you should be referred. But not being honest and open with my doctor didn't allow him to be able to fully give me the care that I needed to receive.
And that's why we need this podcast. And that's why we need you to educate and empower mothers and women that, hey, these are the steps and these are the things that you need to take to make sure that you're getting the right service and the right treatment to make sure that you feel better, that you are your best self. That's why this podcast, and that's why you're so needed in this area, because you should have some type of resources available. These are the next steps that you need to do. And I think because of our treatment and our services is becoming very, very outdated in regards to how we treat different illnesses and special mental illness, and the access to treatment and services is really, really becoming outdated. We need to move forward. We need to move forward thinkers in how we provide those types of services. Yes.
One of the things that I talked about with a mom yesterday is the fact that when you're in the hospital or when you're having the baby, they show you how to breastfeed. They show you how to put the baby in the car seat. They show you how to swallow the baby. So you have all of these instructions for the baby when you get home.
Right.
There is no instructions as a mom to say, well, this is what postpartum is. These are the expected symptoms. This is usually how long it lasts. If you go above and beyond this is extreme and you're feeling beyond the things that we described, then you need this. And those are the things that are very important that are not shared as far as the mother's care.
Right. That is so, so true, Shayla. And that's so, so powerful, because this is what I know in the United States. If we do not get healthcare and education right, then we're going to be a third world country. That is just so, so true, because we're not doing those things. I truly believe, and I've been an advocate, and I've talked to legislators, I've talked to doctors. This is what I would like to see. When a mother come into your doctor's office, who's an expecting mother, that the counseling services start there. It starts at that point, because everybody does not know how to be a mom. And we need to start training, giving these parenting skills, giving these counseling sessions. Like you get prenatal care, let's give the counseling care. Let's give the parenting care. Let's do the self-care. Let's do that all when they walk in the doctor's office. And the doctors, if they cannot do it, coordinate the care with someone who can do it. We have to start doing that, because we do not want to see what's keep continuing to go on in society in regards to parents and children. And a lot of that, when people come through, parents and kids come through our doors, I recognize and I see what happens that we failed. We failed educating our moms. We failed giving them the services they need in order to be a healthy, productive mom. Developing those systems, creating those systems in order to produce healthy children. Because if I'm not healthy and I'm having some issues, guess what? Jadri's going to have some issues too. That's just the bottom line. And there's nowhere around it. So, but we have to do better in educating and providing healthcare services to parents, to mothers. and to the family. We're not going to leave fathers out. It's just to the unit, but especially the mom, since that is the primary caregiver during those ages, during those really, really ages, like from birth to 5 or 6 years old. That's who majority of that child is spending time with. And so we need that. And that is going to, and you heard it first here on your podcast, Navigating My Crazy. That's going to cut down the prison rate. That's going to increase education and ACT scores if we do all those things. That is just a fact.
So one of the things that you spoke about was self-care. And we hear that word nowadays. Didn't really hear it back in my day, but we hear that word a lot. But exactly what does that mean as far as when you talk about mothering and being a mom? What does self-care mean? Because a lot of people think that means going to the spa or going to take a vacation. But realistically, as a mom who has 3.5 kids and probably a job and a husband, soccer practice, and all of the other stuff in between, what does self-care really mean?
Self-care is all about taking care of you. As a mother, we are so caught up in taking care of everybody else, taking care of our children, taking care of our homes, going to work. If you're married, taking care of your spouse. Sometimes we even in positions trying to take care of our senior parents. It is a lot about but self-care, you have to take out time just taking care of yourself. And it can be done in several forms. Just taking a day. Hey, look, don't call my cell phone. Do not knock on this door. I'm not cooking. You're fending for yourself. Whatever that looks like for you, I need these 5 or 10 hours or this day just for me. It does not mean it has to be something extravagant, going to the spa, spending hundreds of dollars. It could be just going to Starbucks, the Books A Million, and I'm just going to read me a book and have me a cup of tea. I just need to be by myself. I need to just detach myself from everything that's going on. And I just need me some me time. If I want to go get my nails done, I can go do that. If I want to hang out with my girls, whatever. It could be a form of going to the gym, whatever it may be that you enjoy doing by yourself, taking care of yourself. That's so important. That making sure that you're healthy and that you're good, because we spend so much time taking care of others that we fail to take care of ourselves. And what happens is if you keep pouring out into other people, and eventually you're going to be dry and your cup is going to be empty. And so we need to learn as individuals, and especially as mothers, in order for me to be an effective mother, effective wife, effective friend, sister, whoever it may be, whatever role that you're playing, I need to make sure my cup is always overflowing. I'm always pouring something back into me in order for me to pour something back into you. That's just about like, I have a daughter, she's in college, and she calls me maybe 5 times a day. And sometimes it gets on my nerves because she feels like I have to solve her problems too. I have to solve her problems. And even she's not even my home, but I still have to solve her problems. And sometimes, for maybe 5 hours, I don't answer my phone. I was like, She'll say, well, Mom, I tried to call you. I was like, yeah, I saw that. So I said, if it was an emergency, you have a village of people you can contact, and they would have texted us like, James on the side of the road or something. I know her is very, very minor, but that's pulling from me sometimes. I don't want to be bothered for 5 hours. Sometimes if I'm taking a vacation, whatever, I let her know I'm going out of town. So, you may need to just call me once today or twice. And our conversation may be just 2 minutes, because I just need to detach from that at some point, from some time.
And I'm glad you said that. I actually wrote a blog post called Mom the Martyr, just because a lot of times as moms, we feel like it's our job to do whatever our kids need, or to be whatever our kids need, or to be whatever our husbands need. And, think it's neglectful to not always be on everyone's beck and call, understanding how much that takes as a person to actually be literally on call 24/7 every single day until your child and not even turns 18, apparently. But I have 2 in college, so I totally understand. But yeah, be at their beck and call all the time. Even when the kids are little, it's, well, I just can't let the baby cry, or we're not talking neglect. We're talking being able to detach for yourself. And so one of the things that you also talked about was support systems. Kind of elaborate on that?
Yes, I will. And before I elaborate, I want to share a story with you about, because we sacrifice so much for our children. And I remember in Target, probably my daughter's maybe 16, and I wanted to buy a purse. I want this purse so bad. And I felt guilty of buying this purse. I was like, why would I buy this purse? And it made me feel so bad because Jadri's going to need something. And I spent this money on buying a purse. And I was sharing it with one of my tribe members, my village. And she was like, that's what I'm talking about. You have to stop that. You have to stop feeling guilty for taking care of yourself and doing something nice for you. You have to learn to take care of you as well. Jadri's going to be okay. And I was like, the feeling was like crazy. I was like, I cannot believe I bought this purse. And knowing she's going to do something, knowing she may need something. And I spent $40 on this purse. That's the wrong attitude. We have to have a healthy balance. And part of having a healthy balance is developing a strong support system. And this is what I would share with the listeners, is that your support system needs to love your child or children as much as you love your child or children. They should not be in your support system is because, oh, I'm okay, or it's just a person, a body. Sometimes we just utilize a body. No. Your support system should value and love you, because if they value and love you, they would value and love your children. So they should be people you trust 100%. If you don't trust that person 100%, they should not be with your children. They should not be in your support system. If it's 99 and a half ain't gonna do for me, because that's a half of something that you might know. Like my mom, I trust my child with my mama. So if they're not on that level with you, they are not a part of your support system. But I've developed support systems for my daughter, people I know she is safe with. And so it has to be people like that who are very protective of your children and your child. And I had to develop that, because that's a part of the self-care. Because I might want to go to the concert, but if Jadri is 10, who do I leave Jadri with? That is so, so key. Who do I trust to do some things for myself to say, hey, my child is going to be safe in your care? And so I had 4 or 5 people that I trusted, that I do right now trust. She has a tribe of people that we trust. And she knows she has any issues in regards to cars or boys or whatever it may be. She called my husband. She called her Uncle Vernon. Those are the people I trust with my child. So it's so many times we feel like because it's family, they okay. No, because they family don't mean you need to leave your children with them or your child with them. No. Some of my family members, I was like, no, that's not going to happen. It may not be them per se, but the company that they keep. And sometimes that's the problem. People who you hang out with. I can't trust my child with you because who's in your circle, who's in your home. You should know you shouldn't place your children in those areas. And then just somebody I could talk to. Some people that are having parenting issues. I mean, my daughter she's an amazing young lady. But we have some struggles, and we have had some challenges in the past. And I had to tap into my support systems. Like, look, this girl is tripping over here. I need some advice on how I need to handle this, or y'all need to come get her because it's about to go down, or whatever it may be. But I seek out guidance, even with an issue that we had when she first went to college. I know I had to tap into one of my other support systems. And I encourage that you identify those people. I encourage your listeners to identify those people, make that connection. Hopefully it's people you've already connected with and utilize them, because so many times people feel like, oh, I can't ask them. I'm a part of the support system for my tribe. They know, hey, if something going on, call your TT Angela. It is just how it works. So utilize your support systems, identify those people, have that connection, have that relationship. And those are the people that you need to utilize in self-care, and also just the village. Become some things that I can share with Jadri. She sometimes does not receive that. But if her TT Austin or TT GJ says it, she's like, oh, now that makes sense. So just having that strong support system, I encourage that very, very much so.
Yes. And I just wanted to elaborate on one of the things that you said about asking questions, because I think in a lot of cases that's key for moms. It's trying to tackle and understand and be all things for everyone. And a lot of times you don't know, and it's okay to not know, but being able to step out and, like you said, have people that you trust and that you built a relationship with, that you can actually ask those questions. Because, I had a son and I've never been a boy. So, when he was going through things and just trying to understand what these moves and all of this other stuff was about, I didn't know, but I didn't ask. And so it was like this gap began to form between he and I, because he was going through things that I, as a female, couldn't understand. Instead of reaching out and trying to help, and the things that I was trying to do wasn't helping, it just kind of pushed us apart. But instead of reaching out to maybe a friend that had a son that was older shoulder, or even my mom, because of course I had a brother asking those questions and not feeling bad about having to ask for help for things that involve your children.
That is so, so powerful, because as mothers, we think we should know it all because I am a mother, and we don't. We do not. Oh my word, we do not know it all. You need to seek out advice. I encourage mothers to seek out advice, seek wisdom. If you don't know, if you have those challenges, ask your support system. You know, I've done that so many times in so many different situations that I needed somebody that I could hear and say, I suggest this is the route you need to do. This is the things that you need to do in regards to this situation. You know, I just had a conversation with one of my friends last night, and we were talking about dating, because Jadri is dating now. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for it. And, you know, she just had to say, you know what, you need to get ready, you know. And we was just having this conversation. She was giving me this knowledge and information, like, and this is how you need to handle this conversation. And this is how you need to handle this conversation, because we do not know it all. Sometimes our tactic for us, how do we think to solve a problem, is not the right solution. We need another ear. We need another eye. We need to bring somebody else into the situation. That's why it's always good to have a support system, somebody you can bounce things off. You know, hey, does this make sense to you? You know, in regards to Jadria. And it was like, well, no, I'm telling you, Shayla, I'm an advocate for support systems. They'll tell you. That's why they're so involved, because I utilize them so much. I was like, you know what? Y'all need to call. I'm not doing it. Y'all need to handle it. And they get on the phone, they call or go over whatever they need to do. I utilize my support system. And at the same time, they utilize me. And I'm the same thing. We do that. And I think that helps develop and strengthen relationships. I want to encourage so bad. If anything they get from this podcast, they get that you have to have a support system. Do not be afraid to ask and say, I need help. I don't know where this come from that we can't ask for help. We ask for help. I need help. You know, we have to admit that something's not right. I got this wrong. I'm doing this wrong. And I need some help, and I need some guidance in regards to what I'm doing, in regards to this situation.
Right. I see so many memes and things like that, especially related to moms. It's with tears in my eyes, and you have all these bags and kids holding on to you. And I just keep struggling through, and it's looking back. And I'm like, that was me so many years ago. It's, I have all of my baggage, and then I have these kids, and then I had my husband, and then I had an ex-husband, and then, you know, he had a family. And so it's like, right. I have all of this stuff that I'm dragging, and it's why? Let it go. Give somebody else the bags. Drop it. Let somebody else.
You take this bag, you hold this kid, you take this, you do this, and I'm just taking this off. Come on, until I get to a better place where I can handle it and I can carry it myself. But right now I need some help. I'm gonna need you to get some of this stuff. Yes, that is so true. But now you are empowering and educating women. I am so proud of you that you're doing an amazing job. I love it.
Let me ask you this question as we're wrapping up. That you have, of course, all of this experience. You're now a counselor, and you've been able to pass on this information. What advice do you wish you had been given at the start of you being a mom that you felt would have made your whole process so much better?
That's a great question. Great question. So I gave birth to Jadri when I was 27, and I could just see so many mistakes, so many things that I did wrong. But I would definitely share with my 27-year-old self, develop those support system early, because everything had to be perfect, because I wanted this perfect child, and I was determined to make this child perfect. And it caused to have a lot of time that she was with me all the time. And so that's what we have this thing now. She was with me all the time. Everywhere I went, she went. We did everything together. So I was very, very ignorant in regards to self-care, because everything was about her. She was literally my world. And I can remember my mom telling me, you go have to stop at some point. At some point, she does not need everything. You don't have to buy her everything. It's like you're working and living for her. And so I would tell my 27-year-old self that develop those relationships early on. Develop those relationships. Take some parenting courses, because I definitely think I should have had a couple of them. You know, even though I come from a large family, my parenting style was kind of different from mom, because I felt like I needed to prove a point that, you know, my child was going to be perfect. So some things like, no, some of the things that your mom mom was doing probably was right. It was not everything, but some things you should have pulled from your mama. So I would definitely do that. Like, no, everything your mama did wasn't wrong. I was like, it was okay to take some things from her parenting style. So I would definitely take some parenting courses, and I would just probably the key thing I think I should have done a little bit more, I should have exposed a little bit more to her. Just a little bit positive exposure, not exposure to everything, but a little bit more positive exposure, because she is sheltered. And sometimes we don't want to do that. We don't want to just shelter our children and try to protect them from everything, because they need exposure. They need to know it's okay to fail at things. It is okay, because you're not going to win every race, but being able to adjust and get back up from that. So just a little bit more exposure. I will be doing a little bit more exposure in regards to that.
That's good information. For everyone that wants to follow you and know what you're doing next, have going on, go ahead and tell them how they can find all of your various activities.
Well, I am mostly on Facebook, and it's Angela Nichols-Young. I mean, Facebook has everything on it. Or you can follow me on Instagram, Dr. Angie, so you can do that, or Inspire Your Light. You can follow me on, and some Mondays, not every Monday, I do a motivational Monday, so just kind of watch out for that. I try not to do it every Monday, every other week. Then I have a radio show called Inspire Today, and that airs every Tuesday at 8 a.m. And that is just empowering business leaders, entrepreneurs, and just empowering you as a person to become your best self. So it airs every Tuesday at 8 a.m. They can either stream it live, or they can call in. The number is 515-604-9292. So dial that number and you can listen to the show, or you can stream it live. I always do a replay of the show, so just in case you missed it during that time, I always post a link where you can listen to the show. You do in your own leisure.
Perfect. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I'm just so excited. I know I just had to have you on the show, because it just makes people want to know what you have so that they can get it too. And I just thank you so much for joining the show.
Well, thank you for having me. And I look, it is a pleasure. It's an honor. I'm serious. I am so excited about this. This is going to change lives and save people. Kudos to you for being obedient, stepping out on your passion, your purpose. I need to call you and find out how can Healthy Minds be a sponsor, because we want to be a part of this. And so we want to definitely support this.
And we have some other projects that we're working on together that we'll announce later, but I'm excited about those too. So thank you, Dr. Angela.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Navigating My Crazy podcast. Don't forget to send all of your questions to questions@navigatingmycrazy.com, or you can complete the form on our website at navigatingmycrazy.com/contact. Also, join the community and chime in on the conversations by liking and following Navigating My Crazy on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Subscribe and rate us 5 stars on iTunes or your favorite podcasting platform. Moms, have a great week and get ready for our next Talk It Out Tuesday.